Hello and welcome to SKANS ECampus. SKANS ECampus is a gold-approved learning partner of ACCA. On this channel, we bring you demo videos of different courses available at SKANS ECampus. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notifications of additional videos and hit the like button.
In this video, we will be covering the specific exam techniques regarding the topic of business valuation. Before we could discuss the exam techniques of business valuation, let's see the knowledge checklist. So you need to know how to estimate the valuation of debt. You need to know how to estimate the value of equity using asset-based model, using earning-based model, for example, the PE ratio method. And you also need to know about the cash flow based model, for example, DVN, the dividend valuation model. You also need to know the efficient market hypothesis topic. Now, this is the kind of a topic, this is the kind of a section in which there are high chances only objective tests and OT cases will be examined. So, for the exam technique purposes, I've only included objective tests and OT cases in that. So let's see, when a calculation based OT, the objective tests arise, how are we going to perform that? So here is an example of an objective test that may be appear in your screen. The first thing you need to do is you need to read the requirement very carefully. So as you can see that in this question they have asked you to estimate the minimum price per share the owner should be accepting. After reading the requirement and you know what to calculate in that, now you need to read the background information, keeping in mind about the required information of the topic. Now in this question for the minimum price, you need to know what is the valuation base, which is asset based in this case. Then what are the necessary adjustments to be made? So for example, the important point to note over here is that the nominal value is $1 million, but its per share par value is $0.5. So you should note that there will be 2 million number of shares. Similarly, you need to be aware about the necessary adjustment in the calculations. For example, they have provided us the non-current asset book value of $30 million, but you need to know that they have mentioned that the net realizable value of the non-current assets exceeds the book value by $4 million. So this should mean the non-current asset should be added by $4 million to become $34 million. So similar adjustments need to be looked for, and when you calculate the final answer, you also need to know that by which number of decimal place you need to round off. Now in this question, it has says that you have to round off to nearest dollar, so you have to calculate in terms of dollar and round it off to 0 decimal place. Similarly, in a discussion based objective test, so here is an example of a discussion based objective test. Of course, the first thing you need to do is you need to read the information, the requirement very carefully. So in this question, you have to identify a statement, the correct statement about the valuation methods. So this is the first thing you need to know that. Now in a discussion base, it is very important, especially at a practice phase, that you read all the options, and in each option you should try to identify a mistake in that. So for example, when you read the first statement, the earning yield method multiplies by the earning yield. So by reading that you have to identify whether this statement is true or false, and if it is false, you need to identify what is the reason for that. So for example, in this option, it is false because the earning yield method will not multiply it, it will divide it. So with this method, your critical thinking will become more familiar, and if there is a complex or close options, you will be able to do that correctly. Similarly, let's read the second option. The equity market value is the number of shares multiplied by share price plus the market value of debt. Now, once again, this statement is false, and the reason for this is, for the calculation of equity market value, we should not include market value of debt. The third statement is the dividend valuation method makes the unreasonable assumption that the average growth rate is consistent. Well, this statement seems to be correct. This statement seems to be true, but still you need to read the fourth statement as well, because it may be a possibility that the fourth statement will be the best among the options. So when you read the fourth statement, the price earning ratio method divides the earning by the price earning ratio. So you should know that this is false because you should multiply it. So with this technique, you should be sure that the A, B and D options are incorrect one, and the only correct option is C. So with this method, you will be able to determine the right answer of the question. Similarly, let's now discuss the OTKs technique. So whenever the OTKs appear in the question, you will see that your screen is split into two halves. The first half will represent the background information, which will be same for 5 objective tests, and then on the right side of the screen you will find a requirement of one of the 5 objective tests. Now, if this is the first objective test, after reading the first requirement, you should know what will be the topic of the OTKs. So in this question, it is the business valuation. Now, while reading the information, you should look for all the possible informations that may be necessary in a business valuation topic, so that when you jump to the next question, you should know that where the relevant information is written in it. Also make sure, especially in the numerical question, that how much decimal places you need to round off your calculation, and make sure that you do all your calculations accurately. So these are the techniques of solving an objective test as well as the business valuation topic. So with this technique, now you can not only try the objective test in OT cases that belongs to the business valuation topic, rather you can also attempt other topics objective tests and OTKs with the similar technique.
If you like this video, visit our website www.SKANSECampus.com to purchase the complete course at affordable prices. Register today at no cost and access our free 10-day trial.